Hello and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking about some new products from Sugar Drizzle Polish. We have a new eyeshadow palette, little cute 6-pan palette called Meant to Be, like as in like BEE. And this is what the inside looks like. We got a little hollow packaging going on, a little bit of an upgrade from their previous palettes for sure. And as you can see, they're square pans and they're on an angle. And then there's also going to be a multi-chrome highlighter launching. And this is the Darling Nikki's Mylighter. And this one is such a beautiful shade. I'm going to show you a demo and how it looks like on the cheeks. It is what I have on my cheeks right now. And I did receive both of these products in PR from Sugar Drizzle. So thank you so much to Sugar Drizzle. And I do have an affiliate code with them as well. In case you're interested, I will put it up on the screen. And both the palette and the highlighter are launching August 20th at noon Eastern time. The eyeshadow palette does feature only one matte eyeshadow, and then there is a black based multi-chrome, and then there's 4 shimmers, kind of different levels of opacity. Some of them are a little bit sheer, some of them are a little bit more opaque, and you will kind of see that when I use them in the look. The look I'm going to be creating, I'm actually going to be using all of the shades in this palette. I know, I can't believe it. And then I'll give you the details on this look because I did create it with this palette. I just did not have time to film with it yet. So let's get right into the demo with the highlighter and then the look with the palette, and I'll give you some of my initial thoughts at the end of the video. So I'm going to put on the Darling Nikki's Mylighter, and this is such a beautiful shade. I'm using this brush. It's actually a blending brush from the Clionadh brush set, but it's a little bit too large for my hooded eyes, so I like to use it as a highlighter brush. Look at that, it's so beautiful. It melts right into the skin, and I knew it was going to do that. I just know from the texture of it. It does remind me of like some iridescent multi-chromes, but a lot of the times those can be chunky. This one is super, super smooth. Oh, that is so beautiful. Definitely can really see it on this side. And then it does have a bit of a shift to it as well. It actually kind of reminds me of the Gifted highlighter from Kaleidos. I'm going to do a quick little swatch comparison. Here they are next to each other. Here's Kaleidos Gifted, and then here's the Sugar Drizzle highlighter. The texture is definitely pretty different, but they're extremely similar. Let's take a look at the swatch. Yeah, even the shift is a little bit different as well. I think the Sugar Drizzle shade shifts more to a yellow compared to the Gifted shade, and the Gifted shade is more purple than pink, I would say. You can see the shift is a little bit different of a tone, but the texture feels completely different. Like this feels almost a little bit thicker, really finely milled, but like it feels a little thicker in the pan. While this one, well, mine's broken, but this one feels, it just has like a, it's like almost a little bit powdery, which is not a con. I just wanted to talk about the slight textural differences. Priming with the Gimme Glow eyeshadow primer. I'm going to create an eyeshadow wing with the shade Pollinates. It's a black-based multi-chrome. It goes from like a really deep purple to like a red. It's definitely not the shiniest. It's a little bit more satin-like. And it's just going to go on the outer corner right here. And I do feel like I need to mist my brushes a bit to really get it to come off. I can always sharpen it up after. The wing's a little dull right now. And I'm going to bring it up just a little bit here. But you gotta do this based on your eye shape. For sure, because everyone's eye shape is gonna be different. Next, on the same brush, I'm taking the Gimme Glow Glow Harder Shimmer Primer, and it's gonna go all over the lid, and I'm gonna create a shape, making sure I cut above my crease, and then I'm gonna go in with Wannabe right here in the outer portion of where I put the darker shade. I'm just going to be blending it into that. And then I'm going to go in with Buzz-A-Lots. Oh, this one is so pretty. And it's going to go like right next to it, almost in the center. And then on the inner portion, going in with Bubblegum. I almost said Bubblegum. And just blending that on top. And then I'm going to go back in with a little bit of Wannabe. And then back in with Pollinates. then I'm taking Plan B underneath their lower lash line to connect it with the outer wing. Humblebee, and I'm gonna mist my brush, and it's gonna go right underneath my lower lash line, and we have used all the shades in the palette. And that is such a beautiful bright green. In the waterline, I put on the Shamrock Gel Liner from Beauty Creations, and here's the finished look. So first I'm going to talk about the highlighter. Really love it. Super beautiful formula. Melts into the skin. Looks like it's literally part of my skin. No glitter particles, no nothing like that. Super smooth, but also gives me like that glistening wet shine that I look for. And if you do have the Kaleidos Gifted Highlighter, if you could see in my quick little swatch comparison, they are pretty similar. So if you have that one, I definitely don't think you need this one. But if you've been wanting this one, I think this is a good option. They're not exactly the same, but they're close enough, and this one's definitely going to be cheaper than this one, and then plus the shipping and everything like that. So definitely highly recommend the highlighter. Of course, if this is a shade that you see yourself wearing, otherwise, obviously skip on it. Let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. Personally, like, I think it's cute that they did the pans a little bit differently, but something about it just kind of bothers me a little bit. So I'm not like the biggest fan of the way that they're oriented, but I do appreciate the thought behind it. I do wish that there was at least one more matte instead of just one matte, though I do really like this. I am wearing this shade in the look that I have on right now. I did not have time to film it, unfortunately, but it was super easy. I basically put Plan B kind of all over the crease and kind of just blended it out. I didn't really put it like anywhere else, just kind of like in the crease and blew it out a little bit. And then I put bubble gum all over the lid. And I think this was a really nice and simple eyeshadow look. I do like the matte eyeshadow. It took just a little bit of like building up and blending out, but I think it blended out really beautifully otherwise, and I love the tone of it. If I was to switch out one of the shades in here for another matte, it would definitely be Pollinate. It is more of a satin type of multi-chrome. It doesn't have too much shine to it. It is very beautiful, but like I said, like I just prefer, especially in these kind of black based multi-chromes, I want a little bit of brightness. If it was super shiny and metallic, then it would definitely look brighter. So that shade is like not my favorite. It also didn't apply the best. It really took just a lot of layering. I definitely think you need some sort of a tacky primer that sets down with this one just to help to stick this one on. So that shade is really not my favorite. As for these other shades, they're really beautiful. Otherwise, like as for the actual colors in here, I think they're really beautiful shimmers. I really love Bubblegum because just look at it on my lids. You can really layer this one, and I think this one is just like, it can be like really opaque if you wanted to, but it can also be a little bit more sheer, which it really makes it super fun. And then Humblebee is just so really beautiful, bright. I loved it underneath the lower lash line. Without comparing these two other palettes that I have, I do feel like I have seen some of these shadows, like these four in particular, in some of my other palettes that I have from other brands. So that is something to keep in mind, especially Humblebee. I feel like this is a really common green duochrome shade. Unfortunately, I don't have time to do swatch comparisons for this video. I gotta say, I think out of all the eyeshadow palettes I've tried from Drizzle, this is probably my least favorite so far, just because of all the kind of the things that I talked about. Like again, I think if there was one more matte instead of the black base multi-chrome, I think I would like it a little bit more. The highlighter is definitely the piece that I'm most excited about, and I really hope that they do even more of these because this formula is beautiful, and I love that it's like so tiny and like compact. I would love to see maybe like a little highlighter palette that has just a bunch of like duochrome shades that are like this size. I just feel like it's a really perfect highlighter size. So those are my first impressions on the palette. Definitely keep that in mind, but let me know in the comments below if you're interested in the palette or the highlighter. I would love to hear your thoughts, and that's everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. There's so much indie makeup content uploading my channel and so much more to come. You don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.